Why is it, do you think, that so many people stay put even when a move could improve their lifestyle? Fact is that most people in the world never actually move very far away from where they were born. And in this video, I want to share with you 5 reasons why people tend to stay put even when moving could really help improve their lifestyle and their living situations. The great man once said that life is a book, and those who do not travel remain on the first page. And for certain, for people like me who moved away from my own country, my home culture, 23 years ago, I left New Zealand to come and live in Northern Thailand. So I'd like to share with you from my experience how this change came about somewhat and the decision making that helped me to arrive here and absolutely love living in Northern Thailand. Retiring overseas certainly can be cheaper for a lot of people. There's tons of options for places to live, not only in Thailand, and other parts of the world that are very comfortable and much cheaper than living in more expensive countries. There's also things to consider, like big changes of lifestyle, change in culture, change in language, change in food, but these things surely we can adapt to. So I think the first and main thing that stops people from making a move to a better lifestyle is fear of failure or fear of the unknown. What's it going to be like? And you know what? You can only ever really know that once you decide to change. Oh, many of us are so much creatures of habit. We do the same things. We have the same daily routines throughout our lives, especially when we're working or especially when we're at school. We wake up, we have breakfast, we commute, we study or work and repeat the reverse process going home. We commute, we eat, we sleep and start again. And breaking the cycle is certainly going to happen if we move to another country. But for retirees, for when you're not having to work anymore, you've got so much freedom, but people tend to be fearful of changing from what they know. And this fear can really stop you taking action for making your dreams reality. And the key is to take small steps, is to take it a step at a time to really practically live your dream. And it's not really fear meaning that you can't do something, it's that you don't or you won't do something. The choice is yours to make that change. But I can understand making that change is challenging. Like I said, different language, different culture, different food, so many things are different. But at the same time, this difference or these differences are what really makes it so worthwhile and so interesting and so much more exciting and leading to a much better lifestyle than just being stuck in the security of what we know. So let me encourage you not to be fearful of the unknown, but to embrace it, to anticipate the change, to expect the change, and to relish it. And the second thing that I think really inhibits and stops people from making a change and maybe from retiring overseas or just moving to a rural lifestyle from the city is the overthinking and these days over-researching and over-analyzing. These days, the amount of information that we are able to get like that from our phones, from our computers, from research that other people have done, this holds us back. Sure, it is extremely helpful, it's extremely convenient, but there's a trap to getting stuck in that research and analysing and overthinking, oh, what if this or what if that, or I just need to research a little bit more about the local food or the climate or whatever it is that you might be fearful of. I'm not saying don't do your homework. It's vitally important to do your homework first, but don't overanalyze it. Don't over-research it. Don't spend too much time on the, oh, what ifs. you'll never know until you take action and step out and gain that experience for yourself. It's like riding a bicycle. I can talk to you about riding a bicycle. I can teach you how it's done through my words and even show you some video. I love riding a bicycle, but I can remember still how difficult it was to get up and to stay balanced on that bicycle. The key was to keep moving forward. And if you're stuck, if you're overthinking things, you're never going to turn those pedals. You're never going to get any movement or maintain any momentum. You're going to fall down. You're going to lose out in the end. So you've got to stop overthinking and start taking some action to gain your own experience. And there is no amount of research or analyzing that can contribute to your experience other than just getting out and doing it and actually making some mistakes, actually coming up against some challenges and finding things difficult to do. This is going to help you gain experience and gain your own knowledge and wisdom of the situation. It's so easy these days to gain so much information that we don't really rely on anything else, and therefore we never make our own mistakes. And mistakes are our best opportunity to really learn. And in this last 20 or so years that we've had internet on hand and now we've got AI, it has become extremely easy to rely on this information and to have an information overload so that we are numb to wanting experience. We trust what we read, we trust what we hear, we trust what we see. Even these days, though it might just be AI generated and as fake as anything, we've learned to trust it rather than getting out and stepping out and gaining our own experience. And the best education we can receive is getting out and doing it, making mistakes and learning from these mistakes. And I think the third thing that many people can get trapped in is a life of convenience and comfort. When we have a lifestyle that we're used to, even if it is extremely expensive or if there are other factors that are quite negative, we tend to numb these out and just carry on with what we're doing because it's comfortable. We've learned to be comfortable with things that are adverse in our lifestyle and we just become numb to them. And because we like the convenience of living where we are, because we have our routines, we have our habits, and it's just an easy way to do things. To choose to step outside of these things can too often be too challenging for a lot of people, so they stay put. And the way to start to overcome this is just with our thinking. Develop your thinking about being in another location, speaking another language or hearing another language, eating different food, enjoying a different climate, different things like that. I think the key to adjusting your thinking is to take it step at a time. Don't try and imagine your whole life changing. Just imagine what it's going to be like living in a different climate and spend time thinking about that, and then move on to thinking about different types of food. Or if you're thinking of moving just from the city into the countryside, just start step by step to imagine the changes and in a positive manner. Practice flexibly thinking. Don't necessarily dwell on what is going to be right or wrong. It's a bigger question than that. You've got to practice non-dual thinking. It's not about right or wrong. It's about things being different. So they might be left or right or forwards or backwards, but not necessarily right or wrong. And if you are aware of this thought process, aware of the changes, don't classify them as being good or bad or right or wrong, and this will help you to adapt. And for sure, there are all kinds of little things that will come to you that you will not really ever be able to research. One thing that still trips me up sometimes is turning on a light switch. In Thailand, you turn a switch in the opposite direction than we do in New Zealand, and sometimes I still get confused because it's such a part of lifestyle growing up you learn to turn a light switch on, and then it's so simple you don't actually have to think about it. And so therefore, if it's different, it's kind of a little adjustment. It's not a difficult thing. I just find it quite humorous that our brains are wired in such a way. There's lots of examples like this that you won't be able to research, and they won't be a problem when you're living in a different environment. It's just the way it is. So by staying with what's convenient or what's comfortable, you're never going to get into other worlds or other experiences that you won't have the opportunity to by staying at home, sitting in your armchair. And sure, some of the changes will be difficult. It will be challenging to come across attitudes of people who live in the country are different from in the city, or attitudes of people who live in a different culture being different than yours. But being a positive person, remaining flexible and non-dual in your thinking, again, not regarding everything as being right or being wrong, this will help you integrate and enjoy life and be enriched by a new living situation. And one tip I'd like to offer that has really helped me is to keep hold of some of your habits or some of your routines if you do make a move. I moved from New Zealand to Thailand a long time ago, and all the time throughout the many years that I've been here, I've continued to bake bread. I baked bread in New Zealand. It was just a routine that I had that I held over here. I knew coming here that there wasn't going to be a lot of good bread that was readily available. So I chose to keep making my own, and that's developed as well. So I've gone from making bread in a bread maker to now cooking bread in a wood-fired pizza oven, and there's really no comparison. But by having that one routine, that one habit, there were others as well, but just as an example, continuing to make bread and bake bread on a pretty much weekly basis, that's helped me keep part of my own cultural and life experience, and that is really quite grounding and quite encouraging. So keep in mind some things that you might like to continue to do if you're considering moving to particularly into a different culture. And the fourth thing that many people do is we tend to compare ourselves to other people. So you might be watching this video and listening to Kevin talk about how wonderful life is in Thailand and how you can change and have a different life when you retire, but don't compare it to me. Listen and learn, take from what I'm saying that will be helpful to you, and if you don't think it's helpful, put it aside, but don't make a real comparison, because there's no way that you're going to come to Northern Thailand or to wherever you choose. Maybe it's going to be just down the road, just out of the city from where you're living, but it's never going to be the same as my experience. So whereas it's great to learn, and this is why I like to share from my experience to help you so that you don't make the same mistakes, but you cannot compare and expect that if you make a move that it's going to be just like my experience or just like anybody else that you might watch on YouTube or meet at the local club that you belong to, or church, or down at the bar. We all live different lives and we're all experts on our own experience, but this is definitely going to be different than your experience. So take from my experience what you can, but don't make comparisons and don't expect that your experience is going to be just the same, because this will certainly hold you back. And you can always aim that your experience is going to be so fun and so fantastic that you will also want to share it with others. And the fifth thing that a lot of people really struggle with is that they wait for the perfect time. Sorry to tell you, there's no perfect time. There's never going to be exactly the right time to make a big move and make a big decision about changing where you're living when you retire, or for whatever reason you might be considering it. The perfect time to start doing something about it is today. Even if it's just changing your thinking, begin to think outside the box that you're living in and start to plan to make changes that will eventually, ultimately result in moving. Now, home here is a perfect example of that. It was my wife's idea. We sat down and had a conversation about it once. Then we started to research where might we buy a piece of land to build a house. And eventually, yeah, it's come to be that our dream is a reality. We've loved living here for the last 7.5 years. It's a fabulous place, and our decision to move out of the city was an excellent one. Just as my decision to move to Thailand, I have really enjoyed and really appreciated. It was a lot of thought, there was a lot of planning, there was a lot of choices and decision making, but ultimately, I'm very happy living here. We are very happy living here together, and we wouldn't change it for anything. Remain positive. Don't be fearful. Don't be fearful of the unknown, but plan for it and expect good things to happen. And secondly, think clearly. Don't overthink, don't over-research or analyze, but really consider what you're thinking and where your thoughts are going. And again, remain positive about it. It's so easy to get swamped with negative information because this is what social media is geared to feed us. So if you're researching moving away from your home country and you're seeing a lot of negativity on social media about it or on YouTube, move past it, because it's only there to get more views and to get more of the algorithm working to benefit the system, not to benefit you. So remain positive in your research. And number 3, remain flexible. Really think clearly and carefully and non-dually, not black and white, not right and wrong, but be positive and remain interested in what you're doing, but expect challenges. And remember to keep some of your routines and habits that you enjoy now. And 4th, aim to create your own positive experience. Make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and move forward as a better, more holistic, stronger person. And last, start today. There's no perfect time other than today. Start even just with some ideas. Write them down. Write down a list of ideas of what you're dreaming of and how you might start to put these into place. It might take a little while, but if you don't start today, it's going to take even longer. And also, don't rush it. Take your time. Do your research. Be aware of AI deepfakes and negativity that social media can bring, and really concentrate on your dream, on what you want to do. And if you are struggling with something like this, drop us a note down in the comments. Let us know what it is, and also let me know how you're going to overcome this struggle, what you're doing today to help you move forward from this. And if you'd like to learn another tip about something that has really helped me to integrate and have a more enjoyable life here in Northern Thailand, please check out this video next. Thanks very much for watching.